Tell us how you got into mastering your media.
I actually fell into it, and it's a funny story. Really dear friend of mine, sister friend, Dr. Stacy NC Grant. She runs a weekend. It's called Faithpreneur Weekend, and it started out as a gala event where she just honored the people, mentors in her life, people who have made an impact in her life, and she's got some pretty prominent people that have been there for her and helped in her development into the business mogul that she is. And so, for those who don't know her, she is the international president of the Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And she is the owner of the Faithpreneur, and that is her registered trademark. And this is where business professionals who are of faith, they have a place where they come together in order to learn how to do business in a way where they represent God well and they operate at the highest level. So she's got, folks highest in government and folks who are just starting out, all the gamut in between. And the one common denominator is that we are faithpreneurs. We are business owners who have faith. We believe in God and we govern ourselves accordingly. So it is an honor to serve with her and to be a part of her collective. And so the year that she opened up the Faithpreneur Weekend, she said, Jason, I want you to come and give a panel. I want you to teach at my event. I was like, oh, that'll be great. She goes, okay, so what are you gonna call your portion? I said, I don't know, mastering your media. She goes, I love it. Let's go with it. Mastering your media was born. And so after that, what ended up happening is that it just continued to evolve and to develop. And that is one thing when you do have a vision and something that God has given you, you may not see what it is, the whole picture, but if you stay with it and allow it to grow the way that God grows things, it just continues to develop into things. So, mastering your media then turned into a interview set where I would interview the who's who in their space, and we would talk about their road to success. And then over time, a good friend of mine, dear friend Harry the Big Dog Jameson, came on board. Yeah, that's my brother right there. He came on board and he started co-producing Mastering Your Media. We ended up launching the show onto Free Agent Radio, and then that went from that to iHeart and Odyssey, and before we knew it, we had folks who were listening from all over, and that became a thing where we just and our guests they really stretch the gamut, and it's just they all have their own amazing stories on how they do what they do and what that messy middle looked like. Because the whole premise of that was how do we normalize the journey? How do we normalize where people can see real people doing real things and going through the real struggles and overcoming those real struggles so that they can get the success that they looked for when they started their business or their venture? So that's how Mastering Your Media started. And so we're going strong, moving into our next season where we're interviewing the next stack of who's in their spaces. And we've got some real interesting interviews. We've got 10 in the can ready to launch and then we've got a whole slew of taping to come across again for this season. So